My story isn't a deconversion story as much as it's a non-conversion story. I was born into a family of Lutherans. My dad was a Lutheran. My mom was a Lutheran who had converted from Catholicism. But both were very religious. Every Sunday, my parents would take us kids to church. We'd dress up really nice, go to church, go to Sunday school. When we got older, my sister and I ended up singing in the choir. I love the choir. I'm just going to say that now. I love the choir. I say that because, well, I'll get into that later. You see, growing up, I thought church was the most boring thing in the world. Every Sunday they would hand out these children's bulletins, which were pretty much these little coloring books and crossword puzzles about Jesus and God and everything that Christian children could do while they sit in the pew while everyone else listens to the sermon. I think I'm getting a little off topic here. Anyway, well, the point is that I grew up learning about Jesus and Noah and Moses and, all the biblical stories that they like to teach little kids. And, every year, the church choir, which I was in, children's church choir, would perform one of these biblical stories like Noah, Jonah, the Tower of Babel, the Moses story. But the thing is, I don't really think that I ever thought they were true. I mean, this plague coming down from God and slaying all the firstborns in Egypt, it just seemed kind of weird. Don't get me wrong, I believed in Jesus. Oh yeah, I believed in Jesus. I believed in God. I just didn't really think that the Bible was all that. I tried my very best to believe it because it was Bible, it was the Word of God. But yeah, you see, I really like fantasy books. I read The Hobbit when I was 9, and The Hobbit for a 9-year-old, that's crazy. That's how much I love fantasy. I love elves, I love dragons, and the Bible seemed to me just be another fantasy book. A lot of the stuff in there that happened was just as fantastical stuff that happened in The Hobbit. It was so weird. As I got older, everyone else, well, not everyone, but most of the other kids my age were taking the Bible as literal fact. So I figured I was just wrong. I asked my parents about it, I prayed. I think the main problem was the whole evolution bit, Adam and Eve. I didn't believe the Garden of Eden story at all because I had been shown dinosaurs from an early age. I loved dinosaurs. And, well, Adam and Eve and the whole dinosaur thing, it just kind of didn't add up. So I tried to take both as truth, and that didn't really work out. Then I got to the age of my confirmation, and I still didn't wholly believe in the Bible. I talked to the pastor about it, and she said that was natural. She told me that she had actually had a faith crisis around my age as well, and that I should just pray and wait it out. And that's what I did. I prayed, I talked to my parents, I talked to the pastor, I talked to everyone I knew about it. But nothing really came. My faith didn't grow stronger, it actually grew weaker. I ended up going through confirmation. I said the words, but I was having trouble really believing any of them at this point. So I decided to do some investigating. I looked into other options. Well, first I started with the occult, the tarot, psychic stuff, moved on to paganism, looked into the whole Mother Earth Goddess sort of deal, but none of them really worked for me. I mean, a lot of them were kind of cool, but I didn't really believe in what they were teaching after a little experimentation. And from there, I think I just kind of slid into agnosticism. I figured I couldn't let go of this notion that there had to be a deity out there somewhere, there had to be something bigger, but I just really couldn't know what it was. This entire time, I kept going to church. I paid lip service to the Christian God, really more for my parents' sake, and for the fact that I still loved singing in the choir. But then I graduated and went off to college, and I haven't been inside any church since then, not even my parents' church. I didn't really make the full dip into atheism until I came across YouTube. a lot of the things that I was still clinging on to, that there had to be something else out there, were pretty well refuted by reasonable people. And seeing all these people, I realized that there doesn't really have to be something out there. The world can just be as it is. And that's fine.